Hey guys, I've been in the backyard and do some homemade mocap again, and this time I did some turning animations I wanted to experiment a little bit with. So this is the data I got from it. I actually forgot to make a turn 180 each direction, which is kind of a bummer because that means I have to make the setup again tomorrow or some other day. But anyway, I wanted to clean this data up, which I started to do, and the turning left I have a raw version of here. Turned out okay, but the right turning right has a bit of a problem, which I think is pretty interesting to cover. So if we watch the right hand, we can see that it is initially curled up here, as you can see, and towards the end frame it uncurls itself. So when doing these mocap cleanups, sometimes you'll end up with something like that. So the way to fix this is to make a copy of all the animation data for the hand, because that's at the end of the arm. And basically that's gonna mainly control the motion of the entire arm, well, depending on how much motion you have on the elbow itself. But rotation wise, we want to just get rid of some of the data and just keep what we have on the hand, because that's the end. So in order to do that, we're gonna add just a little something we can copy the data onto. So I'm gonna pick a cube in this case. Just gonna enlarge that a little bit, and then we're gonna use a constraint, parent-child constraint. Drag that onto here, set that as a source, and for the hand effector, we're gonna drag that in as actually that was the opposite way. This is gonna be the constraint. Sorry about that. We're gonna constrain this object, this box or cube, to the hand. So 0 that to bring it up here, and that's now gonna follow the hand itself. So with that cube selected, we can see that if we check the curves here, we can see there's no animation data on it. So when I plot all properties, we can see we get the animation data from the hand onto this cube here. So that basically means we have a backup of the hand animation. So we can now take this and plot this back to the skeleton to get all the rig data back, in case we didn't already do that. And then because all the animation data with all the curling and all that stuff is on the right hand, we can just get rid of that now, because we have that backup of the animation of the hand. So we can select the right up arm and select branches. So that's going to select everything down to here. Let me just turn off the mesh itself, so you can see everything is selected down to the hand. And with that selected, we can go to the rotation X, Y, and Z for all these joints here, and just select everything and hit delete. So that's going to get rid of all the animation on the right arm. So with that, we can plot this back to the control rig. And when we play this back now, we got rid of all the animation on the arm itself. If we just turn off the cube, the parent-child constraint for the cube, we can see that it is actually following it a bit differently. And the reason for that is that the cube is having the original animation we had before, and the way the arm moves right now is the way actually it's just stationary. So just to illustrate this, just create a quick group for this and just hide this away. So if we were happy with this, actually I think the arm is still a little bit twisted up here. So I definitely want to do that. Just get it back. So the trick is not to turn this around. So we will let the hand of the character follow the cube instead. So let's find the cube, the parent-child. We just use that same parent-child constraint. So we want the cube to be the source now, and we want the hand to be the constraint object. So we are turning that around. So we're gonna say 0 to, yeah, well, it's basically gonna be the same place. So, well, that's interesting. Well, no, that's not actually not that interesting, because right now it's not following the hand. That's because I forgot to turn up the translate and rotate. So as we see, once I turn that up, it's gonna follow, the arm is gonna follow the original animation again. And then we can just plot all properties, and we can get rid of the constraint. And actually, we can get rid of the box, the cube as well, if we can delete it. Yeah. Get rid of that. And did I get rid of my constraint as well? I believe it's this one. Just delete that one. We don't need that. Okay, I see. Whatever. So right now we can see the arm is still a little bit curled up, but that's no problem at all. What we can now do to fix that is to create a new animation layer. Doesn't matter where you are, just you need to set one key. So make sure you're on local space, and then you want to turn the lower arm to make it look correct. So this looks a little bit more correct, and now the hand is turned wrong. So just swing that around until it looks a little bit more correct as well. So this should, I think, be more correct. Okay, so set a key here, and if we play that back now, you can see that it stays curled, turned the right way. So with that, you just merge these two layers down. So we have all the rotation that I just made baked onto the base animation layer, and then you can just plot all this back to your skeleton. And then it's ready to export. And that's basically it. I think this is a good approach to get rid of these twisted joints, if you happen to have them in some kind of animation mocap data that you come along with or happen to work with. Anyway, I hope this was useful. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next. Bye bye.